Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Toastmasters and guests. I can't believe that you would just say something so stupid and irrelevant, and you're just a plain jerk. So that's one way that we can react to someone who has really upset us. Not very polite, and maybe some of you feel a little uncomfortable right now. Hopefully, you do. The problem is that we tend to, as people, react when we're confronted. We tend to say something we regret, do something we regret. We tend to play a game where we are suddenly finding ourselves in a situation that it's taken hold of us. Some call it seeing red. You kind of blow. How could you do that? How could you say that? Don't you love me? And then we're upset. Sometimes we react by fighting even worse. We draw arms. We make laws. Sometimes we need to fight. But we need to learn how to fight. And this is where etiquette and politeness can step in. Because even when our lifestyle wraps around being a better person, looking for concrete answers that will help the human race, or our relationship with our mother-in-law, or our husband, or our wife, our grown children. Even in those situations, sometimes we fail, and sometimes we do well. And there's a lot of communication courses, there's a lot of communication tactics that we can use to come up with answers for this. And again, the problem is some fail, especially if we're learning those tactics and techniques. Etiquette and being polite to one another is a little solution that you can use while you're learning and while you're growing and while you're developing the self-control to not say, hey, that's a really dumb thing to say. You can be quiet. That's a great one. And I don't mean pouting. So an example is, I had someone who I loved a lot. And you know that in that time where you're just in love. And they walk in the room and every sense in your being lights up. You're happy. When they come close, you can smell them. When they touch your hand, you can feel just that, oh my gosh. When they whisper, I love you for the first time. When you say, I love you for the first time and mean it. Wow, what a feeling. And then the day comes, and you're just basking in this glory, and they look over and say, or do, something incredibly insensitive, or stupid, which I don't use that word, I'm just as an example. But they do or say something that's just kind of rude. And you get that feeling, that pit in your stomach. And I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, there was kind of a moment where I thought, is this really the right person? I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but I mean, this feels really bad. And choosing to be silent, not pouting, not the silent treatment. I know many wives can do that, as can the guys. But choosing to be silent and contemplate, maybe this person's had a bad day. Maybe they're just not where they want to be or need to be in their mind right now. That was a solution, and it's a great solution. Another one, there's tactics where we can track them. We can do these communication devices, and those work great. So I definitely think we should try as many things as we can. But when it all fails, and your face is flushed and you're red and you just want to break up or run or get them, silence is great. Being polite is great. Because you cannot be rude to your son-in-law if you're trying to practice politeness. You cannot scream at your children if you're practicing politeness. You cannot hurt somebody without feeling that retribution, that morose sadness if you're practicing politeness. Although I would really like to see the caricature of Arnie when he was all mad. This would be fun. So what I'm offering is not just let's have peace, let's all be nice. I'm offering let's practice politeness. Let's have a world where when someone offends us, we simply respond politely, being quiet, saying something nice back, trying to figure out what's going on with them. But don't react with that gut hurt feeling, that gut anger feeling. And have a world where suddenly people are looking at each other with respect, with caring, with kindness, with tolerance. So I'm going to ask you today to think about one day this week that you can practice politeness all day, 24/7. Pick a day that you might have some challenges. Practice politeness when it hurts. That's when you will get better at it. Thank you. This is an idea of word spreading.